All right, this is OneLastMidnight. Welcome back to another episode of Astroneer. And today we're going to look at one of the new features that was introduced into Automation 2, and that is the repeat button. Because honestly, I feel it's a huge game changer. In Automation 2, there's a new feature that was added to several of the base building pieces already in the game. And that is the repeat button. By clicking the repeat button, you tell that particular base building item to constantly make whatever resource is selected. So in this case, we'd make compound forever, as long as we had soil. The same can be said for the atmosphere condenser. Again, with the chemistry lab, concept is the same. And also the 3 printers now have a repeat button as well. So how is this different from previous builds? Well, the last build, these machines would work in a way that as long as it had the item that it required, in the case of soil centrifuge soil, atmosphere condenser would just run, chem lab, whatever items you're trying to make, and the printer, whatever items you're trying to make, it would just continue to keep producing whatever the item selected was. And the way to control if you wanted to stop a particular production, you would actually have to hit the stop button to stop it. The repeater gives you the ability to only make a one-off item. So I only want the atmosphere condenser to run once, and it would generate hydrogen. Same could be said for any of these other machines. If you only want to produce it once, do not hit the repeat button. But if you want it to go forever, whether the machine was on or off, you could hit and toggle the repeat button, and it would then produce that particular resource forever. Well, until at least, the conditions are met that the machine would shut down automatically. In a sense of soil centrifuge, there's no more storage, and the items that were produced are sitting on top of the soil centrifuge. Same with the atmosphere condenser. If there was no more storage, there's one gas that would stop this machine. The same for these other items. The base building pieces that did not change are the large shredder, the trade platform, the smelting furnace, and the research chamber. Once you turn these base building pieces on, they will stay on forever. So if there are items to refine, all they have to do is be put next to a storage next to the refiner or placed in there with an auto arm, and it would continue to refine forever. The way to shut that machine off would be to just toggle it on or off. Same with the research chamber. The research chamber will automatically pick up new items as long as you have it toggled on. Now, this, in my opinion, is a huge game changer. The repeat button actually really changes the game on automation, and I'll show you why. Let's take this previous example of the soil centrifuge producing compound based off of a power timer. So essentially what is happening here is that there's a battery sensor that is monitoring this battery. And if I was to put down segment pins and branch it to the soil centrifuge, when the battery is charged or not charged, it would send a signal to the soil centrifuge telling it to turn on and to start producing compound. Let's just watch this as an example. I have to initially turn it on to begin with to start the process. The battery will start draining when the soil centrifuge starts running, causing power to reduce in the battery. When the soil centrifuge is complete, it will offload the items, refill back up with soil, and the battery is being recharged from this solar system over here. And once it's complete charging, it will fire a signal off to the soil centrifuge to start the process again. So in Automation 1.0, this is what we had to do to keep the soil centrifuge working. This process will constantly run until there is no more storage left to store the compound, and the soil centrifuge just stops. Regardless if there's a signal being sent, the soil centrifuge will no longer work at this point. So I've disconnected my timer. And why is the repeat button so powerful? Well, it completely eliminates the need for to have this timer. Currently right now, since I toggled on the repeat button, the soil centrifuge will just run. It will keep producing compound until there's no more space for storage that's left, and the soil centrifuges remain full. So you can see how extremely powerful this is. Once again, we eliminate having the need for have a timer to run the soil centrifuge. Of course, this is again a never-ending process until your storage is completely filled up. Now that might be a good thing or a bad thing. Let me give you another example. Okay, so here we are at the automated printing machine. I made this for a tutorial on how you can do automated printing. And this whole system is run off of this timer sitting over here in the distance. And this is a storage-based timer, and what happens is there's a sensor here that monitors whether the storage is full or empty, and when it meets either of those conditions, it fires a signal off to then turn around and tell all of these machines to turn on. Mainly the soil centrifuges right now. It also then, in turn, fires off a signal that tells the printers to print. So every time the cycle goes through, it will print around, and then my printed item will get stored on these medium storage silos. With the repeat button, this timer is no longer necessary. There's no need to have this timer anymore. But let's just go ahead, break the timer really fast, and I'll show you exactly what this is doing. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off this timer, and you're going to see how this entire machine works without the need for having a timer. We're simply going to go over to each of the machines, turn on the repeat button, and turn it on. Again, the smelting furnace will run as long as it's turned on. The printers need to be set to repeat what they're making. And since there are resources here, it will start printing items. Turn on these other soil centrifuges. Again, this smelter doesn't need to be turned on. We'll turn on the chemistry lab, set it to repeat, and allow it to make plastic forever. And lastly, we'll turn on this soil centrifuge and tell it to repeat. Now this entire machine is now automated without the need of having a timer. It is just going to completely run. So you can see exactly how powerful this repeat button really is. It will infinitely make medium storage canisters until it can't make medium storage canisters anymore. Again, this is a blessing and a curse in disguise, because right now the only way to shut this machine off is to go to each one of these individual soil centrifuges, the printer, and the chem lab and tell them to shut off individually. You could set up a button that is connected to each one of these machines just to tell it to turn off, and that should stop the process altogether for you, and you should have a quick and easy way to turn on and off your automated machine. So as you can see, the repeat button adds some excitement to the entire world of automation. Alright, that was it for this video. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. We'd love to have you in the community. If you want to follow me on any of my social media, you can find the links in the description below, and make sure to hit that notification bell. That way you know when I go live and when I post new videos. Talk to you later. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.